Here, the machines will be rolling all red crackers, used domestically by the Chinese for many of their celebrations. Factories employ a number of machines running many hours each day to keep up with the demand for tubes. Since each machine can only roll one size of tube, several differing machines are needed to make tubes of varying diameters. The machines themselves are of a very clever design and can roll tubes from an inexpensive, low-grade paper. Tubes are formed in a continuous process as the paper feeds into the machine. If you watch closely, you will see in slow motion a series of metal mandrels being extended by a cam track into the path of the red paper. A rotating brush applies a small amount of thin glue to the paper. Simultaneously, the paper is being cut and continues to wrap around the mandrel. As the mandrels travel around the central stationary drum of the machine, the paper is rolled completely into a tube. Once the mandrels come around the backside of the machine, they are retracted by the cam followers, and the finished tubes are free to fall off the machine and down a collection chute into a waiting bucket. In the rolling machines, tubes are taken to an adjacent building where they are tied into hexagon bundles. These bundles make it very easy to complete the necessary steps required to transform the tube into a finished firecracker. To speed up the rolling and bundling process, tubes are rolled twice as long as needed, and then cut in half after they have been formed into the hexagon bundles. As you can see, this is a highly skilled job that requires a good eye to get the hexagons to come out nice and flat. Except for the height gauge block used to score the outside tubes, no guide is used to cut down through the remaining bundle. After the tubes have been cut in half, the next step is to close one end of all the tubes in the hexagon. On the small firecrackers seen here, clay is usually used to form a plug. Again, a skilled person is required to get exactly the right amount of clay in each tube. Some tubes receive a paper top which facilitates the filling process of the tubes. Once the glue dries, holes are quickly punched through the paper in each tube. This acts to funnel the powder into the tube during the loading process and prevents powder from trickling down the sides of the tubes, keeping them clean.
个信号跟你的话，还有送掉。
冇算哈，咪即係有些人沒票就哈哈，
不是
是啥？那你这还得这个。
老會送嘅時候，嗰啲魚嗰啲拍嘅呢個就仔應該係冇得理嘅。
The filling operation is done entirely by eye, and a quick flip of the wrist is required to measure out the exact amount of powder in each tube.
Hello. 我一直知道在我身上没有指定推荐，我等时的指定掉啊。
While many factories still do the fusing operation entirely by hand, in some factories machines are being used to cut and place 13 pieces of fuse at a time into the many rows making up the hexagon bundles. As you can see, the machine is still not quite perfect. Afterwards, the single packs are bundled together with a cellophane wrap, and the bricks of firecrackers are ready for sale.